Welcome back to Brush Up Your Game, and today Wave 11's Alpha Hunter, the Hirgoen, have entered the chat, and they do so with a really good ship. A 4234, which is a solid ship, and a named ability that I like a lot. After you move, you may perform a sensor echo action with the one straight maneuver as a free action, even if you're not cloaked. So, free echoing, always a good thing. Could it be better? Yeah, absolutely. But, it's a chance to reposition yourself, to get out of the way, and to make yourself a little less predictable. And that's always a good thing to me. I like the single crew slot. Wish it was 2. Double weapons. Feels like it could be better when we get more Hirgoen stuff. I am hoping for more Hirgoen. We'll talk about that later. 2 tech slots, also useful with what Hirgoen have. Independent tech is okay. And so having 2 tech slots there, not bad at all. But yeah, things that hold this ship back, even with weapon slots, only having a 90 forward arc hurts. It just stings. This is a ship thematically fine, I get it, forward arc, but it needed more. It needed more than that forward 90. Maneuver dial's fine. 2 and 3 turns. White, great, it's maneuverable. 3 come about. Again, maneuverable, but it's slow. And if you try to compete with Voyager's going to run away from you faster than you can ever hope to catch up. Generics have been brought down in cost because of... there was a reprint. There was a card pack for this. And the card pack helped. So the generics down at 18, which tells you this named ship is very overpriced. Carr, Captain Carr. Skill 8, 2 talent slots, 5 points. When attacking, during the modified attack dice step, you may reroll one of your attack dice twice. In addition, if your captain skill is greater than the target ship's skill number, during the roll attack dice step, you gain an attack die. Captain Carr, one of the really good captains. And I'm not saying just independent. Captain Carr has always been in my top 5 captains. He may have dipped a little bit because there are some really, really good captains that have come out lately. But I will still say Carr is top 10. 2 talent slots is great. Passive reroll for quality, and the chance to get an extra attack die if you do it right. Sure, you can get him up to skill 11 pretty easily, and that's not super tough to do. I like Carr. I like what he brings a lot. And then we get Alpha Hirgoen, who is a non-unique captain, and that is supremely good. When attacking with your primary weapon, you may convert a blank into a hit. Quality. You can tell Hirgoen are all about offensive quality. For skill 6, 4 points, and a talent slot on a generic captain, you can throw this across your fleet, and you're going to be solid with captains. Sure, there's cheaper skill 6. There's better captains. There's better abilities. But this is a consistent ability. You get to convert a blank. Yeah, it's only with your primary. Fine. It's still useful. You fire your primaries a lot in this game. Put Alpha Hirgoen on like a Riemann Warbird. You're rolling 6 dice. You're always going to need to convert a blank. Well, maybe not always, but almost always. Stalking mode as a talent is an action discard. Target a ship at range 1 to 3. The target ship's skill number is reduced by 2. In addition, during the roll attack die step, you get an extra attack die against the target ship. Both of these effects last until the end of the game. Yeah, I like stalking mode. I like it thematically. It's an epic theme card. I look forward to running it in missions because Carr will jump over Federation captains with this. Um, Alpha Hunter comes into play, equaling skill up with this. And I like it because this is the way the Hirogens start to come back into play. I could even see Vidians borrowing this. Maybe not entirely thematic, but if you want to make an argument, I will argue back and say the Vidians stalk their prey. And for Vidians to have stalking mode would make all kinds of thematic sense. I know it's a Hirogen card, but it's all part of one big happy independent family. Khan with stalking mode also epic. Intercept Course. You may discard this card before you move in order to change your maneuver for this round. Probably not the most needed ability, but it's there. If an enemy ship is in your forward firing arc after you complete this move, you may perform a battle station action as a free action. Can only be purchased for Hirogen ship, costs 5 points for any captain other than Carr or Hirogen captain. Yeah, basically, you put this on Carr. Alpha Hirogen, it's there. Yeah, Intercept Course is fine. 4 points to get a battle station action. I've rarely seen the need for a card like this. It comes down to those 50-50 maneuver choices, and you still have to outskill somebody in order to make use of this. So, can work, isn't always amazing. Full Reverse is a good card. 2-point talent, and I always like cheap talents. During the activation phase, after you reveal your maneuver, but before you move, you can discard this to perform a 1 or 2 fullest turn backup. And you treat this new maneuver as white. So being able to back up and still get actions is supremely good. And I know I've said that phrase twice. I don't know why. But it makes your fleet, or at least your ship, unpredictable. It gives you the element of attack, of quality, of being able to put yourself in the position you need to be at the right time. And assuming you're running this on a Hirogen, and you don't have to, but typically your way to have a shot on an opponent who's going to fly past you is to do that come about. Well, if they're expecting that, but you back up, you might have a better shot this way, and you get quality, whereas before you wouldn't. Full Reverse, very good card. One I think is undervalued, underused, and something I think people need to work at, look at, use a little more. Photon Torpedoes. Spinning your target lock, disable the card, perform the attack, convert a battle station into a crit. Fine, all good. But you can't use it from the rear arc because the Hirogen don't have one. You're spending 5 points. It's a little too much. These need to be better. And that's all I'm going to say there. Subnucleonic Beam. And yeah, that's a mouthful. 4 dice for 5 points. I'm already not thrilled. Disable the card. Still not thrilled. In addition to inflicting normal damage, for each uncancelled hit or crit, disable a crew upgrade on the target ship of your choice. Okay. Range 1 to 2. So range 1, I'd normally have 5 dice. Because this is a secondary weapon, I'm getting 4. So I'm losing a die. We'll argue half the time. And I don't think 5 points is worth it. If I really, really need something to take out a bunch of crew, disable crew, the odds are my opponent's built super defensive, and all those crew are helping it be super defensive, and I'm probably not going to inflict damage, and nothing here actually helps me inflict damage. So that's the tough part. I think where this might be decent is on the other Hirogen ship, but again, it's so expensive. This one just needs a new version. Because I like the potential. I like the concept of the card. I just don't like the execution of it. Then we have Sensor Network. Here's tech, 4 points. During planning phase, after all ships have chosen their maneuvers, you may disable this card to target one ship anywhere. Look at that ship's maneuver dial and then choose your maneuver. The target ship cannot change its maneuver, but you can only buy this for Hirgoen ship. Thematic. Super thematic card, right? The Hirgoen Sensor Network, Voyager using that to contact Earth. That's the whole reason we met the Hirgoen. Cool. Love that they brought that in. I think this card works thematically. I don't think it's worth 4 points. Essentially a one-time use, because I'm not sure you're ever going to spend an action to use it again. Time tokens, again, would make way more sense, but we're still... what? Wave 11, Wave 12, Wave 13, Wave 14. We had time tokens in Wave 15, I believe. It's 15 or 16. So we're still a few waves away. I think this is a card that would definitely benefit from those time tokens. So really, I think what I'm saying is we need a free tech, a question mark upgrade that just lets you say when you would disable a tech, you may instead put 3 time tokens on it. And then maybe you also have to put 2 time tokens on that card. So you can't do that every single time you disable a tech, right? But I think that would work, be a quick fix to a lot of these cards. Would make everything better. Or charge 1 point for it. Limit 1 per ship, something like that. Nice, easy fix. Alright, Monotonium Armor Plating. Whenever an enemy ship attempts to acquire target lock on your ship, roll 2 defense dice. If you roll at least 1 evade, the target lock doesn't take effect. Can't have more than 1. And then as an action, disable this card to remove a red target lock from beside your ship. Say, okay, fine, you got through my defenses. Nah, get away. I love the thematicism of it. I will find a way to run this in a mission because I think that is the place for this card. Theoretically, you're getting rid of about half. Well, let's see. The odds of failure are 5 out of 8 times 5 out of 8. The odds of failure are 39.06%. So 60.9% or so of the time. Basically 60% of the time. 61% of the time. You should be successful. In theory. That's not reality. You all have seen defense dice. You know they don't follow theory or statistics. But Monotonium Armor Plating, I like it. I find value in it. It works really well if you're running a cloaked fleet and this ship. Because then they're stuck. They can't really cloak or target lock your cloaking ships. So the rest of the fleet's going to try to target lock you. That's really the value in it. All right. Then we have Turange. He adds a weapon upgrade slot to your upgrade bar, which is cool. And if your captain's skill number is ever below a 4 when you are attacking during the deal damage step, you may discard your captain to add +1 damage. Not 1 die, 1 extra damage. And if you do this, this card becomes your new captain skill with a skill of 7. And I think there's some cool stuff you can do. I'm not 100% certain what all of these things are. I want to think. The first thing my brain goes to is finding a low skill Romulan with a talent slot and Massacre, which will add a crit to an attack roll. So you add in Massacre, you add in the discard of the captain for an extra damage. And so you find a way to deal that damage and be done. And I think that can work nicely. Um, you can also just run a generic captain, and then the first time you attack, you chuck your generic captain out the airlock. Taranj takes over. You got a skill 7 captain, and you did an extra damage. It's not a bad play, especially if you need a weapon upgrade. You could put Taranj on what, Dauntless? No, you need a crew slot for that. Pasteur, and then you've got a weapon slot at least. Of course, you're stuck Mirror, and Mirror don't have great weapons. But I do think Taranj can be good. Not amazing, but good. So, all right, pack as a whole, worth getting. Fun cards. Um, some that need some help, but interesting talents. I like the talents. Uh, Probably the best generic captain in the game. There are a few good ones, and a top captain in the game. Period. So, uh, I I really like what exists in this pack. I think it is maybe not the best overall pack, but I would consider it in my top 10 overall expansion packs, and worth chasing down if you can get it. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, keep brushing up your game. Take care.